Three common bedtime snacks that trigger midnight heart attacks after 60. Number 2 is in your fridge right now. Did you know that heart attacks are up to 25% more likely to strike between midnight and 6 a.m.? According to a study published in the journal Circulation, people who experience heart attacks during this time frame are more likely to die from them than at any other time of day. Your body is at its most vulnerable when you're supposed to be resting. Your heart rate slows, blood pressure drops, and your blood vessels constrict, which are all natural nighttime processes that can turn lethal when the wrong foods are introduced before bed. What's even scarier is that millions of people unknowingly eat the exact snacks that put this invisible chain reaction in motion. Now here's where it gets real. Recent research shows that some popular nighttime snacks, yes, the ones marketed as healthy or light, can silently cause dangerous spikes in blood pressure, disrupt your heart's electrical rhythm, and increase clot formation. These aren't exotic, hard-to-pronounce junk foods either. One of them is sitting in your pantry right now, and odds are you ate snack number 2 this week without a second thought. But whatever you do, do not miss snack number 1, because it's not only the most dangerous, it's also the most deceptively common. And if you're over 60, the risk multiplies. But don't worry, we're not here to alarm you without a solution. At the end, we'll reveal 3 incredibly powerful heart protective foods backed by real science that can help shield your heart through the night and possibly save your life. Stick around because you're going to want to add them to your grocery list immediately. Before we begin, let us know in the comments below where you're watching from, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. Now, without any further ado, let's get started. Number 3. Ice cream. It's late. You've had a long day. You finally get into bed, but that sweet craving hits. You head to the freezer, grab a spoon, and before you know it, you're digging into a bowl of creamy, cold comfort. But here's the problem. Ice cream might be doing more than just satisfying your sweet tooth. It could be silently setting you up for a midnight heart attack, and here's why. Ice cream is a triple threat. It's high in saturated fat, loaded with added sugar, and dangerously rich in refined dairy. Saturated fat, especially from full-fat dairy, can increase your LDL cholesterol, often referred to as bad cholesterol. Over time, this contributes to plaque buildup in your arteries, which is a condition called atherosclerosis. But when you eat it right before bed, your body doesn't get a chance to burn off those fats. Instead, your digestion slows down while you sleep, meaning those fats hang around in your bloodstream longer than they should. This raises your triglyceride levels overnight, which studies have linked to increased clot risk. And the sugar? That's a whole other nightmare. Eating sugar before bed causes a sharp spike in your blood glucose, followed by a crash. This crash can trigger a release of stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline during the night, which are 2 hormones that raise your heart rate and blood pressure. According to research from Harvard Medical School, these fluctuations at night can strain the cardiovascular system, especially in older adults whose arteries are already less flexible. For seniors over 60, this scenario becomes even riskier. Aging hearts are more sensitive to blood pressure changes and have a harder time adapting to spikes in glucose and fat. The result is a perfect storm: narrowed arteries, increased heart rate, and blood that's thicker and more prone to clotting. If a clot forms and travels to a narrowed artery in the heart while you're asleep, the result can be a heart attack that strikes in the dead of night, and in some cases, it's too late for help to arrive in time. So what can you do instead if you're craving something sweet before bed? Try a small bowl of frozen banana slices, blended with a teaspoon of almond butter. Bananas are rich in potassium, which helps balance blood pressure, and almond butter contains healthy fats that support heart health without the inflammatory effects of dairy. Plus, it tastes surprisingly close to ice cream if you do it right, especially if you toss in a few blueberries or a dash of cinnamon. Another great alternative is Greek yogurt with no added sugar, mixed with chia seeds and a drizzle of raw honey. Just make sure it's the unsweetened kind, since even low-fat yogurts are often hiding heaps of sugar. These alternatives are easy to prep and far kinder to your cardiovascular system. They digest more gently, stabilize blood sugar levels, and won't spike your heart rate during the most fragile hours of the night. Remember, the goal isn't to deprive yourself, it's to swap in foods that love your heart back. Make sure you stay until the most dangerous bedtime snack of all. It's ultra common, often seen as harmless, or even good for you, and yet it's the one most strongly linked to late night cardiac events, especially in older adults. Number 2, crackers and cheese. This one might surprise you. Maybe you sit down before bed thinking, I'll just have a few crackers with a bit of cheese. Nothing heavy. It feels light, even classy. But that innocent little snack is actually a stealthy heart hazard, especially when eaten late at night. Let's break down exactly why. First off, cheese is a dense source of saturated fat and sodium. One slice of cheddar can contain up to 200 milligrams of sodium and 6 grams of saturated fat. Now imagine pairing that with a few buttery crackers, and you've got a sodium bomb just before bed. High sodium intake causes your body to retain water, which increases the volume of blood your heart has to pump. This raises your blood pressure, which is already naturally lower during the night. And when you spike it with a salty snack, your heart is suddenly forced to work harder at a time when it should be resting. For people over 60, this is particularly risky. As we age, our arteries stiffen. The elasticity that once helped regulate blood pressure is no longer there. This means even minor increases in sodium intake can cause exaggerated spikes in blood pressure, especially during the night when the parasympathetic nervous system is trying to keep everything calm. These spikes aren't always felt. You might sleep through them. But inside your body, your heart is beating faster, your blood vessels are constricting, and your risk of cardiac events quietly increases. But there's another sneaky problem with crackers and cheese: hidden sugars and refined carbs. Most commercial crackers are made with refined flour. This means they break down quickly into glucose, spiking your blood sugar in the same way candy does. You don't taste sweetness, but your body reacts to it just the same. That glucose spike leads to an insulin response, which then drops your blood sugar too low during sleep. Just like with ice cream, this can lead to a middle-of-the-night adrenaline dump, which is a stress response that increases your heart rate and blood pressure, sometimes enough to trigger arrhythmias or worse. And don't be fooled by whole wheat or low-fat versions. Many of them still contain just as much sodium and refined carbohydrates as the regular kind. Plus, when you reduce fat in cheese, manufacturers often compensate with extra sodium or additives that mess with your metabolism. So, you're not escaping the risk. You're just swapping one problem for another. Now, let's talk alternatives. If you're craving something savory before bed, try a slice of avocado on a small piece of whole grain toast. Avocados are packed with heart-healthy monounsaturated fats and potassium. They can help lower bad cholesterol and even regulate your heart rhythm thanks to their magnesium content. Toast it on a thin slice of sprouted grain bread, which digests more slowly and doesn't cause those sudden sugar spikes. Another option: a small bowl of edamame sprinkled with a pinch of sea salt. It's high in plant-based protein and contains isoflavones, which are natural compounds shown in studies to reduce LDL cholesterol and improve arterial flexibility. Both of these options provide flavor, satisfaction, and even a bit of protein to help keep you full through the night, without triggering the blood pressure or glucose roller coaster that crackers and cheese can unleash. And unlike the typical bedtime snack, these choices actually support your heart rather than silently sabotaging it. Number 1. Cereal with milk. This is the one hardly anyone sees coming. You might think of cereal as a nostalgic, harmless comfort food. It's light, easy, and doesn't feel like real food, which makes it the go-to choice when you want a snack without guilt. But if you're over 60 and still grabbing a bowl of cereal with milk before bed, you could be rolling the dice with your heart every single night. Let's unpack this. Most cereals, even the ones labeled heart healthy or low fat, are packed with hidden sugars and simple carbohydrates. One serving of a so-called healthy cereal can contain 10 to 15 grams of sugar. But who eats just one serving? Most bowls are double that, which means you're eating the equivalent of 3 or 4 spoonfuls of sugar right before sleep. This creates a huge blood sugar spike, followed by an insulin response that pushes your blood sugar too low in the middle of the night. That drop can trigger cortisol release, increase your blood pressure, and disturb your sleep patterns. It can also raise your resting heart rate, which is very dangerous when it's supposed to be decreasing. The milk doesn't help either. Dairy, particularly full-fat milk, contributes additional saturated fat and can raise cholesterol levels over time. But even if you choose low-fat milk, you're still dealing with lactose, which is a sugar that behaves similarly in the body to regular table sugar. So now you've got a double sugar load, and you're lying down immediately afterward, which makes it harder for your body to metabolize what you've just consumed. This combination can result in elevated overnight glucose levels and higher blood pressure, both of which increase the likelihood of cardiovascular stress. A study from the Journal of the American Heart Association found that people who consume high glycemic foods like sugary cereal before bed had significantly higher risks of nighttime arrhythmias, which are irregular heartbeats that can precede serious events like stroke or cardiac arrest. For older adults whose heart muscle is already aging, even a brief episode of arrhythmia during sleep can be the tipping point. So what's the better choice when you're craving something easy, quick, and satisfying? Try a small serving of unsweetened oatmeal cooked with almond milk, topped with a few crushed walnuts and cinnamon. Oatmeal is high in soluble fiber, particularly beta-glucan, which binds to cholesterol in the digestive tract and helps eliminate it from the body. It also has a low glycemic index, meaning it won't spike your blood sugar the way cereal does. The cinnamon not only adds flavor, but has been shown to help stabilize blood glucose, while walnuts are full of omega-3 fatty acids that support heart health and reduce inflammation. Another great bedtime bowl is warm quinoa with a splash of plant-based milk and a few slices of apple. Quinoa provides protein and magnesium, two key nutrients that support the electrical stability of the heart. Apples add natural sweetness and fiber, helping to control cholesterol. And when you combine them in a warm, comforting bowl, you get that same soothing effect without the harmful sugar spike. By replacing the cereal milk combo with these smarter alternatives, you're doing your heart a massive favor. You're calming your blood sugar, supporting your arteries, and giving your heart the peaceful, steady rhythm it needs to rest and repair overnight. Now let's talk about the positive side. What if, instead of worrying about what to avoid, you could add specific foods to your diet that are scientifically shown to reduce heart attack risk, especially while you sleep? Well, you can, and we've saved the best for last. These aren't just healthy in a general sense. Each of these foods has been studied and proven to directly support cardiovascular health by lowering inflammation, improving arterial function, and even reducing the risk of heart attacks. Number 3. Dark leafy greens, like spinach and kale. Dark leafy greens might not be flashy, but they're absolute powerhouses when it comes to heart health. They are loaded with vitamin K, folate, magnesium, and fiber, which all support your cardiovascular system on multiple levels. Vitamin K helps your blood clot properly and prevents calcium buildup in your arteries, a major contributor to arterial stiffness and heart attack risk. Magnesium supports steady heartbeats, and folate helps reduce homocysteine levels, which is a lesser-known but important marker for cardiovascular disease. One large study published in the European Journal of Epidemiology found that people who ate at least one serving of leafy greens daily reduced their risk of heart disease by 16%. That's a huge return for such a simple habit. Greens also help balance your pH, reduce inflammation, and stabilize blood sugar. All crucial benefits for those quiet nighttime hours. To make them more exciting, sauté spinach in olive oil with garlic and a splash of lemon juice, or toss kale into soups and stews. You can also blend them into smoothies with a banana, some berries, and unsweetened almond milk. The goal is to make them a part of your routine in a way that's enjoyable and sustainable. Number 2. Fatty fish like salmon. We've all heard about omega-3s, but not everyone realizes just how powerful they are for your heart, especially in preventing nighttime heart issues. Omega-3 fatty acids, particularly EPA and DHA found in fatty fish like salmon, sardines, and mackerel, have been shown to lower triglyceride levels, stabilize the heart's rhythm, and reduce arterial inflammation. A meta-analysis published in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology found that regular consumption of omega-3 reduced the risk of fatal heart attacks by up to 35%. Salmon is one of the best options because it's not only rich in omega-3s, but also in potassium and magnesium, which are two minerals essential for heart rhythm regulation. Try baking a fillet with lemon, garlic, and herbs. If you're not into cooking fish, try high quality canned salmon mixed with olive oil and mustard for a quick and easy lunch. Or look into a clean fish oil supplement. Just make sure it's third party tested and sourced sustainably. If you eat a serving of fatty fish 2 to 3 times a week, you're giving your heart a constant shield against arrhythmias and inflammation. Number 1. Beets. Beets might just be the most underrated heart protector out there. It is packed with dietary nitrates, which help your body produce nitric oxide, a compound that relaxes and widens your blood vessels. This process lowers blood pressure and improves blood flow throughout your body, including your heart. A study in the journal Hypertension showed that people who drank beetroot juice daily reduced their systolic blood pressure by an average of 8 millimeters of mercury. That's better than some medications and without side effects. The best part: beets are easy to incorporate into dinner or even a bedtime snack. Roast them with olive oil and rosemary for a delicious side, or blend them into a smoothie with berries and a splash of coconut water. You can even find beet powder and add it to a glass of water before dinner for a concentrated heart-boosting dose. For seniors especially, improving overnight blood flow helps reduce the pressure on the heart while sleeping, an incredibly important protective effect that happens behind the scenes. Now you know the truth. Ice cream, crackers with cheese, and cereal with milk aren't just innocent snacks. They're potential triggers that put your heart in harm's way, especially if you're over 60. But the good news is you also now know the power of beets, salmon, and leafy greens. These foods aren't magic, they're medicine. Real scientifically proven protectors that work while you sleep. So next time that late night craving hits, ask yourself this: do I want a satisfying moment or protect a lifetime? Your heart is always working for you, day and night. Now it's your turn to work for it. Now we want to hear from you. Have you ever had a midnight snack that made you feel off afterward, like your heart was racing or your sleep felt disturbed? What was it? Which of the 3 dangerous snacks surprised you the most? Share with us your experiences and opinions in the comments below. We love to hear them. Thanks for watching.